heaven on our own. We need a gift of salvation. It's amazing when you look at America, especially. I've been in a lot of countries, but when you look at America, it's almost as though we have a mentality, a culture that tells us that success is the man or the woman who has the most toys at the end of life, the most gadgets, the highest position, the most power. But Jesus says, what is your life? Is it your possessions which all of a sudden slip through your hands like sand? Is it your position of power that you fought your way up the ladder? Is that what gives you success? Jesus says, no, a man's life does not consist in the abundance of the things he possesses. Listen to me. Britt doesn't need a cell phone. He doesn't need a Game Boy. He doesn't need an Xbox. He needs a way to get into heaven. And there's only one way. I want to show you a clip. I don't know how many of you go to church. I don't have any idea how many of you go to church. Church can't save you. Only Jesus can save you. See, salvation is not in anything other than a person. It's not in religion. It's in a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. At 17 years of age, he's battling a dread disease that eventually takes his life. But listen to me. Do you know what he desired? He desired to be in church. He desired to be in church. He came to church in a wheelchair. He sat at home and watched Wednesday night, the day before he passes into eternity. He's weak. He only has a few more hours left upon this planet. His precious mother wanted to turn off the live service at Maranatha, but he kept saying, no, I want to see it. His soul was hungry. Watch a clip, just a minute, of his last service in church. Bless his soul. Bless his soul. But I tell you what I sense your soul was soaring. Your soul was soaring. Inside, your soul was alive because of Jesus, and your soul was soaring. Your soul was soaring. If your family could see your soul, they would see your soul was soaring. He's beginning to tell you things that you never knew before. You never knew before, because the Holy Spirit is bearing witness with your spirit about the things that are most important, eternal things. God's telling him of eternal things. Be sure and write down everything he tells you. If you can't write it down, have someone else write it down, because he's showing you eternal things. Yeah, see, physically, what are you, 17? But spiritually, son, you're growing. You're growing just. He took a 17-year-old shepherd boy, his name was David, and he used him to slay giants. You're a giant slayer in the kingdom. Pray for me when you get a chance. Go back up. Yeah, when you get a chance, just call my name out. Because I see you soaring. I see you soaring. I asked a 17-year-old to pray for me, because just a glimpse, I could see that he was soaring. He had 1 foot on the earth. He had 1 foot in heaven. The last few seconds of his life, no one around him could understand what he was saying. My personal belief is he was seeing things that those in that room were not seeing. Can you imagine God telling a 17-year-old boy fighting for his life? He wasn't fighting to win a ball game. He was fighting to see his life spared for another day. And God speaks to him and says, everything is going to be all right. But yet I see people, they don't believe everything's been all right. Because our desires and the human desires, we want to have him another day. There's not a parent on this planet in your right mind would want to give your child up, give your husband up, give your loved one up. No, your friend. You don't want to see your friend die. But do you know everybody in this room is going to die? Most of us don't even want to think about it. We don't want to get around death. Because we see so many movies where they're shot and there's murders and there's horror and all this stuff. But I want to tell you what, the last enemy you'll face is death, and Jesus conquered death. This is our scenery for our production that we're going to start this coming Sunday. And there's the cross. That's the way you get to heaven. If you look at that cross, the cross is not what you think. It's not a minus sign. It's not a minus sign. So many young people think that religion is just it's a straitjacket. It's bondage. No. When you find Christ, you find a plus. The saddest thing is so many young people are turned off because of the church. They're not turned off because of Jesus. They're turned off because of the church. Because they see all this regimentation, all this tradition, all these rituals that don't bring life. Jesus brings life. He didn't only die, he was buried. I've been to that tomb 21 times in Israel. We're the craziest people in the world. I've traveled across the Atlantic Ocean 21 times to see something that's empty. Oh, thank God. Because Jesus said, because I live. Death couldn't hold him. The resurrection is not just a celebration of people so they can put on new clothes and Easter bunnies and eggs. It's a celebration of the only one, the God-man, Jesus. God becoming flesh. The God-man gave his life, died, but he came back to life. He was the only one that was able to come back to life and stay alive. He's alive right now. He intercedes for you and me. Brett is not dead. Brett, excuse me, thank you. Brett is not dead. He's not dead. His body is dead. His precious brothers, sisters, dad, mom, they all want to touch and see him. But he's alive right now. To be absent from the body for the child of God is to be present with the Lord. He's alive. I believe he can see. I believe he can touch. I believe he has the ability to speak. Oh my. Years ago, our daughter went to Disney World, and that's an adventure for anybody. And she took her little 3-year-old daughter with her, our granddaughter, and she was so excited to get to Disney World. And of course, when she got to Disney World, she wanted to see one thing. She wanted to see the castle. She had to see the castle. And it had been raining all through Florida, and she was so worried it would be raining when she got to Disney World. Well, my private line rang in my office, and I picked it up. There wasn't a high pawpaw. There was a little 3-year-old screaming, "I can see the castle. I can see the castle. I can see the castle." And then I heard the shouting, "And it's not raining. And it's not raining. And it's not raining." Well, Britt can see the house of God, the temple of God, and it's not raining. It's a perfect, cloudless day with no rain, no tears,